Hey, everybody. Welcome to the pre-show of the program. Good to see you. Just going to make sure I've got everything going. There's my recording. My mic is up. And I've got to start the, what time is it? Yeah. A couple of seconds here. I'm going to start the stream, although we don't go into the stream until 9:04:25. There we go. Oh, and of course, I don't have my microphone plugged in. Hang on. I've been sitting here for the last few minutes just kind of rounding up all the last minute details. And let me get this plugged in. Hold on. I'm going to go all the way back, of course, behind the computer. Boom. There it is. All right. Let me get my headset on. And for those of you watching, this is, and if this is your first time, this is not the live show quite yet. We've got a few minutes to blow at the beginning before we connect up with the stream at the radio station, which is odysseyradio.com. And I should probably close that door. Hang on a second. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I was calling upstairs to have somebody shut the door because it gets awfully noisy. The kids were out playing. And everybody knows I'm doing radio, but everybody is also noisy all the time. What the hell? So there you go. Yeah, I muted on purpose, Grumpy. I was yelling upstairs. You didn't want to hear me go, hey, like that. So I shut the mic down for a few seconds. And I was deliberately on mute, guys, so I could holler upstairs things that ought not be said on the radio. So there you go. And but thank you for bringing that to my attention, because I have left the mic on mute a couple of times as we have been going. Let's see. Yeah, you did, Grumpy. You heard me yelling. So, yeah, we got about a minute left before we go live. And I suppose I could do something pithy and entertaining in this first 4 minutes where we're not actually broadcasting. I could come in a little later. I could come in at 3 minutes after instead of 9 o'clock. But, there it is. So this is what we do and how we do it. We got 25 seconds now before we go live. Remember, if you're new to the program, if you're watching the video, we go dark for a few seconds and then we launch. So we're at 4 minutes and now 15 seconds. So we got 10 seconds. Hang on, folks. I'll be right back.
Are you looking for a really awesome and amazing graphic designer? How about an illustrator or a photographer? This is Rainey Roberts, and I wanted to tell you how you can get my designer, illustrator husband, Scotty Roberts, to work for you on your project. Do you have an awesome self-published book but no cover, or even worse, a cover that really sucks? Do you need a kick-ass logo for your company or some f***ing awesome graphic designs for your ads or website? Then get in touch with my husband for the best f***ing awesome kick-ass design and illustration. He knows his stuff, and he's been at this for more years than I've been alive. Go to ScottAllenRoberts.com. That's Scott with 2 T's, ALANROBERTS.com to take a look at his online portfolio of work, or call 651-468-8115. Now go out and kick some ass with some kick-ass graphic design.
Hire my dad so he can take me to Disneyland.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent talk.
Well, happy Thursday evening, everybody. Welcome to the Intrepid radio program. I'm your host, Scotty Roberts, as usual. The same Scotty Roberts you got yesterday, the day before, and the day before that, but not on Monday of this week because I was off. But that's me. This is my show, the Intrepid radio program, right here on Odyssey Radio. That's ODYSY radio.com. And that's where you can go hear this show every night, 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday, in its audio format only. And if you want to join the video simulcast of this show, there's 2 places where you can do that. You can go over to Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Odyssey Radio, their page, and you will see this program video simulcast over there. And there is a chat room. It's just the Facebook thing. Nothing special. I think it just plays and you can comment. Or you can come over to the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Scotty Roberts. That's my own channel, so you can come on over. You can subscribe to my channel. If you're not subscribed and you're listening, please hit the subscribe button. That does help us out a little bit. And also, you can join this channel on my YouTube channel. If you're not a member, you don't have to be. But if you'd like to be, click the join button. You'll see 3 different ways that you can join this channel and help support this broadcast. Bada boom, bada bing. And so there we go. There's the announcements out of the way about how to find the show, how to get here, and what to do about it. I do have to say, because I haven't said it for a while, my new book is out, The Sword in the Clay. Many of you here already know what that book is all about if you're regular listeners. If you are not, that is my latest book, and it's a short book. It's about 8,000 words, about 80 pages, and it is for kids, and not really. I was just thrown up because I saw Brianna Learman pop up on my screen, and but let me bring her in just a minute here. So go to theswordintheclay.com or my website, scottallenroberts.com, and you'll be able to see it there. Let's call Brianna in. Let's see what's going on.
Just wait.
Hey, Brianna. Hey, Harley. How are you? There's Haley. See you guys. What are you guys up to tonight? Calling into a radio.
You goofy.
We just
What's
got back
that?
from
We just got back from Walmart.
Oh, you got back from Walmart. Well, welcome home. So you got to teach her better, Brianna. She's got to stop calling me daddy. People will wonder.
My turn. It's my turn.
So what are you guys up to tonight?
They're going to bed soon, but Haley and Harley heard your voice on the phone,
I heard it.
Oh, yes.
so they wanted to say hi.
Hi. That's a nice little tongue you have going there. Everybody, this is Brianna Learman. She and John are our old neighbors and their children. This is Haley in the front and Harley in the back. And so we miss them a lot. And so it's nice when they pop in during the radio show. So if you're listening just audibly on the radio, you don't get the pleasure of seeing these right there on the screen joining me. So thanks for popping in, guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to let you go, and I'm going to have to let Mom get you to bed. So if you're around and you're still up, good night, Harley.
Bye.
I love you. Bye. Bye, Haley. Bye.
I love you.
Bye, Brianna.
Bye.
Or is it Brianna? I can't remember.
Anna.
All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for coming in. Bye-bye. All right. That's always a nice surprise to have them pop in with the kids. So most of you know Brianna. She comes in. Just make sure you refer to her as Brianna. That's the best. She loves that. And so, well, I was talking about the Sword and the Clay, and so you know the stuff there. You can go to the Sword and the Clay website, check it out. Go to Rainey's Tumblr page. It's just 2loonstumblers.com. The numeral 2 and loonstumblers.com. And see what she's up to these days. And I think that's all the major cool in-house advertising I have for tonight. So let's get into it, because I left off last night at a place where I had so much more information, as we always do. You line up so much information for the show, and if I line it up short and I go, I'll get through this, it'll take me the whole show. You line that up and I'm done in 10 minutes. And you're like, okay, what do I talk about next? I guess I will just go into something else. And when I have too much information or not enough info, you know what I'm saying. If I have not enough, sometimes I go too long. And if I have too much, sometimes I get over it too quick. So there you go. Blah, 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 blah. Haley and Harley and Lee Port is from my great grandma and grandpa's names. There you go. That's pretty cool. And so welcome to everybody in the chat room, by the way. If you are listening via the radio station, you're hearing the show in audio, you can come over and pop open the chat room, and you can join the chat room with the other Intrepids as well. So I want to thank everybody who's here. I didn't get a chance in the pre-show to say hello by name, but you all know who you are. You're my regulars, and I appreciate the fact that you're here. Last night, or the last few nights, we've been talking about our homes and the spirits of our homes, and how the spirit, how our home has a spirit. And you don't really have to be of a religious mindset to believe that. But I do think it takes a little bit of being awake and being aware and knowing that everything around us has a spirit, has a name, has a, you know what? I almost lapsed into the Disney cartoon Pocahontas and the song that she sings. That I know that every rock and tree and river has a life, has a spirit, has a name. I watched that too many times when my older kids were younger. And so it's still ingrained in my head. But our house has a spirit. And if it's empty and we imbue it with the spirit that we bring to it, you can sometimes see how some homes can be. You enter into a place, we talked about this the other night. Some places you walk into and it's bright and cheery and joyful. You feel it. Other places you can walk in and it's already dark. You feel enclosed. You feel like this is not a happy place. And many times you can feel that spirit right away in that house. So how do you draw that spirit in? Your house is built out of natural materials, and those things have spirits. The spirit of the earth beneath your house has spirit, has energy. All of it has energy, and it makes up for the spirit of your house. And so I was looking at some of the things in the chat room. I was wondering where that was going. Some of that. So you guys can all go over there and check it out. But I started talking the first night. I was going to talk about, can a person be a portal? Can your house be a portal? Now, tonight we're lined up to talk about the moon phases. And that, of course, was without me thinking, hey, I got a bunch of back material we still haven't covered in here. So there's a big question. Are you a portal? Is your house a portal? When we talk about your spirit, your house having a spirit, we say, can that spirit then be something that is a portal that brings energy in? Does your house bring energy in? Do you, as an individual, bring things in? A portal? What's a portal? It's a doorway. It's a gateway from one place to another. It's a location where energy, matter, people, spirits can transfer between one side and another. It's a crack in the veil, if you will. I think a crack in the veil is probably a bad, not a metaphor, but you can't crack a veil. You can tear a veil. Maybe it's a rip in the veil. It's a way for things to slip through. And it's a place with a large funnel of energy coming through it. So portals are openings in the universe through which energy and information flow. And the type of information energy that comes through a portal are things like hopes and desires of the collective unconsciousness that's out there, that great nebulous unconsciousness that's there, fears of the collective unconsciousness, revelations, divine energy, energy from the spirit world, spirits of all kinds. These are things that portals are points with high currents, spiritual and energetic activity. Now, it's very interesting. I had fellow Christian friends of mine that would kind of poo poo this idea of spirits. Oh, that's not right. It's all Satan. But even Jesus himself in the Gospels in the New Testament talked about, and if there is a spirit in your home or an evil spirit in your home, call the priests and have it removed, have it cast out. And that spirit, if it's cast out, Jesus went on to say, it's going to go out into the wilderness, it's going to roam around, it's going to find other spirits and come back. It says 7 more spirits more powerful than itself. They'll come back into your home. And so there were warnings about that. There were things to do if you had the evil energy coming in. So if you're a believer in Christianity, you've got to realize right away that even in that teaching, that there was room for your home being a portal for that energy to come in. And so an individual, a house, a location in the physical world containing this singular point of energy flow can often feel as though energy's drawing, swirling, or magnified in their space, especially if you are sensitive to it. Now, I'm not quite as sensitive to that as my wife is. My wife can feel stuff right away. I once dated a woman before I knew Rainey that was a sensitive, and we drove up outside a mansion that was in St. Paul, Minnesota, that is said to be one of the most haunted places around here. And her skin actually turned warm and started turning red because she could feel. She said, "We got to move. We can't park here and look at the house. I got to get out of here." And so some people can feel that energy more acutely than others. And people who live in and near these energy portals tend to feel more energetic and productive than others. They tend to get a lot of creative work done when there's a portal that's open. Because portals aren't all negative. It's not at all a negative thing. We hear about, don't do the Ouija board because you're opening up a portal to bring in evil spirits and things like that. It's not all about just evil. And portals are often great centers for the arts. And for this reason, they're sometimes very geographic, but they can also be created. And so how portals can be man-made is like this. Usually a transformative or hey, will you close that door, please? Sorry, folks. Here, hang on a second. I got to go mute for a second. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties in the wings, so to speak. Kids and people yelling, and they come into the studio and they leave the studio door wide open, and then run back into it. And I'm like, hey, come on. So anyway, I was saying that these portals can be things that we make ourselves. Usually a transformative precipitator event of some kind causes energy to suddenly flow in if you will, almost a funnel shape. And with a precipitator event, a large amount of energy moves or is rushed through space. A portal can be created from that swift moving energy. And it happens in place-time, and it also occurs in space-time. And so have you ever heard of a dramatic change in a person's life? Somebody you might know, a friend of yours, a family member, that they've had a dramatic change, and that time seems to speed up? Well, occasionally a portal opens with a place or a single being's energy field during these moments of this sudden change. And portals can exist anytime you have a dense layer adjacent to a more quickly moving spiritual layer, and a barrier between them breaks away. And because of this, portals can exist in both physical locations as well as physical bodies. So our bodies, our homes, places like that. And so in the case of physical location portals, these types of things can open up a portal. Large geological events, large atmospheric events, mass transition events, emotional events. These are all things that can open up these portals, and are of the above all events which can cause energy portal to open up. All of them. So high energy centers, known as portals, are also found in natural spaces, places like canyons, mountains, other geologic formations, no matter how ancient. And these are often called vortices or vortexes. They're places where energy form across the veil, and they can come in and leave the physical world naturally. When Rocky and Rainey and I and a couple of other friends, we were doing a ghost investigation up at that location where John and Rocky and I had gone a few years ago, the old boys' home in Faribault, Minnesota. And we were out in the woods and stuff. And we were in some of the old structures, the concrete, they looked like bunkers, these structures that have been there for 70 years, something like that, maybe since World War II. And we're in there, and they're all grown over, and there's all kinds of course, like anything that's left that's unattended to, it's full of graffiti and all kinds of broken glass and wood and junk and stuff all over the floors. Well, we have the spirit box going, and we got voices that were communicating with us back and forth. And we were in broad daylight, by the way. It was late afternoon, and it was still light outside. And we were getting a voice of a male that was coming over the spirit box. And we asked, it was asking us questions. We asked, and I don't remember everything that was said, but we did ask, where are you talking to us from? And it said something to the effect of the portal, that there's a portal. And this is where he's coming from. It said other side. Those two words, other side. Well, how are you communicating with us? Portal, it said. So these are things that are there. They're things that we've experienced, not really knowing how to define them other than saying these things do exist. You can sometimes get communication that comes between them. And there's a lot more on portals. We could spend shows on the portals, how to create, how portals are created, how people create them. But your home is one of the places where you can create a portal. It's the place where you expend a lot of emotion, a place where good and bad happens, a place where all the members of your family bring things in. If you're alone and you've got a place, you can sometimes bring your own energy into that. We can open up these portals. And it's a very interesting thing. It can also be a very intriguing thing to do a little research on. But your home, the energy you bring to it, is something you bring through a portal. You create that portal by the energy you bring into your home, and you create in your house can be, and also spirits. So you can invite these things into your home. And sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. And it seems we always hear the stories of the bad energy, the evil energy, the wicked things that tend to come through these portals. And but you can also attract the other things as well. And so I wanted to talk yesterday. I wanted to get to cleansing your space and the reasons you should smudge your home and things like that. And what the heck is smudging? What does that mean? I've got a couple of things up here on smudging and smudging your home. And do you know what that means, to smudge your home? And I'm not talking about Grumpy Stack coming in with tire gradu all over his hands and running them across the refrigerator. That's a smudge of a different kind. How would you smudge your home for cleansing? What do you think it takes to do that? Sage, says Leslie Holker. And I've always wondered about that because I think why sage? Why is it certain kinds of things are the things that we need to use that work? And so I've got here 8 reasons you should try smudging and how to do that at home. And this is all before we even get to the moon phases thing that's actually the scheduled topic for tonight. So smudging, it's really an ancient art. And it goes back to Native America. You see a lot of it. It goes way back, much further back than that. And it's the name given to ceremonial, daily acts of cleansing and purification, which uses a selection of herbs, often not always the herb we would like to use. I can smudge my house pretty easily with certain types of herb, but sage. And you bundle them together with string to form a sage stick, a smudge stick, being ignited. You've seen these things, little bundles that are tied together with strings, and you light the one end. When I had the ranch, and my now 30-year-old daughters, were very young, 7 and 8 years old, we had on our ranch 40 acres of, well, probably half of that, about 20 of the acres were filled with sagebush. And so we would send the kids out certain times of the year and say, I'll give you a quarter for every bundle you bring me. And I showed them what I meant by a bundle. And so they would go out there laughing and having fun, and they'd bring back tons of sage. And we would clip it and tie it together in bundles, and we'd take it to shows and things. Some of the rendezvous we were part of with the regiment, we'd take those out, we'd throw them in the fire, and we'd sell them as sage bundles for a couple of bucks a piece. And because it costs a lot more than that in the store. But smudging with sage is a ceremonial act. And the smoke that's emitted from these herb bundles is believed to cleanse negative energy, to purify living spaces, as well as people and even objects like tools and furniture and home decor. And similar to one washing their hands before a meal, it helps to cleanse a person in an energetic bath of aromatic smoke. And that's what this does. And I always wondered how that worked. How does lighting a certain herb do anything to cleanse energy, or anything to cleanse your house or purify anything, or even as a daily ritual? What's that about? Now, I know you can go into the Catholic Church and you can see incense that gets burned in the little incense burners that hang on and the priest swings it around. It's the holy smoke that comes out. They talk about that in the Old Testament at the temple in Jerusalem, how they would light incense and they would burn sweet incense to God. And so there's always something been about the aroma. There's an aromatic science that goes on here as well. Negative ions are also created by the effects of sunlight and water. You probably noticed a wonderful sense of calm when in nature, such as visiting a beach, waterfalls, enjoying a walk in the woods. These high energy concentrations. Negative ions can clear the air of mold, spores, pollen, dander, odors, cigarette smoke, bacteria, viruses, dust, and other hazardous airborne particles. Hell, might even work on COVID. We don't know. We have no idea. But they do these herbs, this smoke, by attaching to positively charged particles in large numbers, which cause the germs, the mold, the pollen, and all the other allergens to become too heavy to stay airborne. They fall to the floor or attach to a nearby surface. It removes them from the air you breathe while preventing them from causing health problems, like any kind of respiratory issues. So due to all of our electronic gadgets, including computers, TVs, washing machines, and the like, as well as carpet and upholstery, our homes have become what some describe as positive ion prisons. Some of this isn't even a spiritual sense at all. Although you can use these sages and these burnings of herbs and so on for spiritual practice, it's a practical, down to earth physical science thing. That's why negative ions that occur from smudging can also be beneficial in counteracting all those effects. So, smudging your home, your office, even your body is kind of like taking on energetic shower. Have you ever seen, probably not in a sweat type of a situation, sweat lodge, I'm talking. Ask Reuben Fasthorse about this. When you smoke the peace pipe, if you will, the pipe, they will smoke and they will bring the smoke up over the head. And that's for a cleansing. So when you do these kinds of things, it's like taking this energetic shower, or perhaps even spending a day in the mountains, spending time breathing in fresh air and scent of pine, which offers this direct positive effect on reducing stress levels. So, Aboriginal elders in residence at the University of Toronto, a guy named Kat Krieger, says that when done properly, smudging can also be a way to connect with Native American culture or Native culture altogether. To understand the protocol means you have to learn something about Aboriginal people. Aboriginal, not just in Australia, Aboriginal people here in the States. So you have to learn something about them. So, in a sense, the medicines are working in a kind of way that's saying, learn about me and we can respect each other and we can walk together. This is what he noted from an Aboriginal point of view. If you think smudging is just some kind of woo-woo with no science to back it up, think again. There's research that's published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology entitled Medicinal Smokes, and this was written back in 2006. And they found out that burning smudge sticks has the ability to cleanse the surrounding air of harmful bacteria. The authors of this report noted that the most frequent medical indications for medicinal smoke are pulmonary, neurological, and dermatological. And there's a very large list of pathogenic bacteria was shown to be absent in an open room after a remarkable 30 days following treatment. So, leading the authors of this report to conclude, we've demonstrated that by using medical smoke, it's possible to completely eliminate diverse plant and human pathogenic bacteria of the air within confined spaces. Have you ever heard that before? This was even news to me. I didn't understand the scientific part of this. So there are benefits to smudging. There's 8 benefits I have here. Number one, now this is in addition to increasing the cleansing of the air and of unwanted bacteria. The benefits of smudging and producing negative ions are many. It increases your sense of well-being and improving mental focus. Have you ever just burned sage, pure sage, in your home? Sometimes that smoke is very cleansing and it's very comforting. And so by doing this, smudging removes the debilitating effects of excess positive ions in the air in a way that's been described as a natural antidepressant. Good night. Not for you guys, for my little girl standing here.
Good night, Dad. Love you.
I love you too.
Tomorrow I'm not going to school.
You're not going to go to school tomorrow?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm really coughy. It hurts my chest and
You better go.
burns.
You better go get ready for bed.
I have sniffles.
There you go. You have sniffles. Well, I'm doing a radio show here, so I'm going to continue with this. And if you're still awake, I'll see you when I'm done.
Hi, Matthew.
Hi, Matthew, she said. She saw your name. All right, guys. Let's get on with this. I gotta let you go, baby. I'll talk to you when I'm done. All right. So clearing negative energy. The smoke, when you burn sage and you burn some of these other medicinal types of smokes out of natural herbs, the smoke helps to change the molecular structure of both the air and the energy, which produces a cleansing effect. And as the sense of smell is strongly linked to memory and to instinct, smudging is very effective for combating feelings of anger, fear, anxiety, grief, and depression. Any of you know anybody? Are you a person that suffers from any of these things or know somebody who does? These types of scents in your home, smudging your home, can be very helpful. It's nature's antidepressant. It seems that the negative ions produced from smudging offer really serious antidepressive effects. So much so, it's said that to be at least as effective as a prescription antidepressant without the side effects. There's a guy named Dr. Clarence Hensel, a research engineer who delved into the biological effects of negative ions in the air in the 1930s after noticing that the mood of one of his colleagues changed in response to ions being generated by their equipment. And he discovered that his colleague was more joyful when the machine produced negative ions and more sullen when it produced positive ones. So in a controlled study that was published in 1998 in the Archives of General Psychiatry, focused on seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. You know what that is. After a long winter, especially up here, there's in the Great White North, there are a lot of people that suffer from seasonal affective disorder. That was an extension of Hensel's work. Researchers found fresh air changed with negative ions was an effective treatment and prevention method. Well, come here now that you're here. There's my lovely wife, Rainey.
I figured everybody else is interrupting you.
There it is. Since everybody else is interrupting, you should too.
I'm gonna too.
All right.
What's up? Okay, bye.
What's up? Bye. It's been a night of familial interludes. I hope you're all enjoying those. So, this whole thing, an extension of Hensel's work, they found that air changed with negative ions was an effective treatment and a prevention method, a preventative method of depression, for depression. And thanks to its effects on serotonin levels, similar to the way antidepressant drugs work. And it clears the air. In addition to bacteria, smudging in your home can help clear the air of pollen, pet dander, dust, mold, spores, other potential allergens to improve allergy symptoms. Cleansing objects now. Have you ever seen that done? Where you can take an object and when you're smudging, you let the smoke go over the object. Not only can smudging cleanse a room, but it cleanses objects. Whenever you bring a new object into your home, especially something like an antique that's likely to have been exposed to negative energy over the years, negative ghosts, negative spirits, all of this stuff is energy, remember? It's all energy. We can interchange ghost with the word energy. That's just a way to scientifically talk about it. And even that's a stretch sometimes, but you know what I mean. You can use a smudge stick. You allow the smoke to pass over the thing, to pass over time, to help clear it so it doesn't affect you or your environment. There's relaxing effects from smudging. This is one of the 8 things we're still on. Smudging can offer calming, relaxing effects that are known to lower blood pressure, which I got high blood pressure. It relieves stress and tension. It normalizes breathing rates. And as the negative ions produced are absorbed directly into your bloodstream, they may even help to fight off damaging free radicals that can lead to premature aging and disease. I want to say free radicals. We know a few of those in Congress, don't we? Maybe we can get rid of free radicals in Congress by burning sage. Should make that a ritual that we go through in Congress. It increases your energy. Studies have found that the negative ions produced by smudging produce or also help to normalize serotonin, that well-known feel-good hormone that's in our bodies, in the brain, which can help boost one's mood, improve focus, create a more positive outlook. And smudging can also improve your sleeping. An Italian study showed that negative ions can help improve sleep patterns, also have a positive effect on regulating serotonin production. So now that we know all this, why should you smudge your home? You probably want to know how to do it. While it might sound intimidating, if you've never watched someone else performing a smudging ritual, it's really pretty simple. It's uncomplicated, totally safe, unless you drop the match on your carpet and it burns your house down. It's totally safe, provided you follow a few easy steps. Native American practitioners like Kat Krieger, who we quoted at the beginning, Aboriginal, says it's always important to be respectful and to learn how to handle the herbs according to traditional protocols. To understand the protocol means you have to learn something about those people, is what Krieger had said. And we covered some of that already, and so we'll move on from that part. But it's best to do smudging with a full awareness in a slow, mindful manner. So you may even want to practice a meditation for a few minutes before proceeding. There's that meditation thing again. And, way back, just before, and this is only to set context, just before Rainey and I started dating, I had a woman friend that came and smudged my house. I was moving into a new house. This is back in, it's 2005, summer of 2005. And was it 2005? Maybe 2004. And there was some dark stuff in the house. I moved in. There's a lot of stories. This is the place where I had the drawers opening and shutting, where I was locked out of the house, where I'd find rubber bands shoved up in the toes of my shoes and cats locked in the bathroom and all that kind of stuff. And I've told you all the stories about that place. Well, she walked through that house with me and she smudged the entire house. She went to every corner in every room and she burned sage and she smudged and cleansed that house. But she knew what she was doing. She and her mother were first and second generation witches. And you don't have to be a witch to know this stuff. And magic isn't all black magic, by the way. So loose dried white sage, or a white ceremonial sage bundle, sometimes referred to as a wand, bound together by a thin string. You can usually find them at your local health store. You can find them at your local metaphysical store. You can find them on Rainey's Etsy page. Rainey sells those. Her Etsy page is Mama Hathor's with an S, right? At the end? Mama Hathor's Studio. You can find it on her Etsy page. You can find some sage right on there. Excuse me. If you have a sage plant, you can make your own. Like I used to send my kids out in the pasture to gather up sage.
I actually just started 16 sage plants upstairs.
Rainey, you just started planted 16 sage plants upstairs and in until it's warm enough to plant them. So, and then there's instructions we could go through. We don't have to get into that tonight. It's real easy. You just light one end of it and you let the smoke, you blow out the flame and let the smoke, let it smolder so the smoke comes. And so this is all some of the stuff that we were talking about the other night and we didn't get to. You can see how much material there is here and we didn't get to it. Now, like tonight, we're supposed to be talking about the phases of the moon. And some of this is pretty easy. Here, Rainey's got a little tiny, if you're watching, this is a little tiny white sage bundle that you can see here.
I like to make them tiny because once I use them once, I don't like to reuse them.
And this is sweetgrass, this one. This is also great. This is sweetgrass, Native American sweetgrass. And you see it's braided here. You can just light the end and you can smudge with this too. The thing I like about sweetgrass, frankly, it's not as potent smelling, but it kind of smells a little bit like pot, like weed, but it's sweeter. And it's such a nice oh man. I wish you could smell that. I can smell it here. It doesn't smell like weed. I'm not talking like I'm a stoner and I got to smell something that smells like weed. I'm just saying it's got a hint of that when you burn it, but it's really sweet when you smell it. Sweetgrass and sage, of course, it smells like sage. And usually the bundles, do you have a big bundle over there, Rainey? She's looking for one for me right now so I can show you what it looks like. So, and it's wonderful to smudge your house with this. It's a cleansing thing. Don't think, oh my God, my people, my neighbors, my friends, my family will all think I'm doing weird witchy stuff. It doesn't have to fall into that category at all. Just because witches do it doesn't mean that's the source of it. So, and you don't have to worry about that. Hey, I'm talking like there's something wrong with witches. There's not. Remember, there's all different kinds of witches. Another topic, another day. But I did want to hit this thing about the moon phases. And this is all in this idea of house magic, how to make your house magical, how to make your house energetic. Steve Clark, welcome to the chat room. I see you there. This is a way to make your house lively. Not lively, that's the wrong word. Filled with life, filled with joy, filled with light and happiness. Everybody who's there, and I only called you up because I just saw you came into the chat room. I wanted to say hi. Matt Finn says, not black mold. No, that requires professional stuff for sure. That's very different. We're talking about airborne stuff, not stuff that's growing all over your walls. Oh, this is Palo Santo. Here. Oh, this smells really good too. Now this looks like just a piece of wood is what that looks like, but you burn that, and that's very cleansing. Considered to be very cleansing. Here's some sage bundles. This is what they look like. And I thought you were going to come and say something.
There are two different kinds, but I don't remember.
Oh, you got two different kinds of sage here? They look pretty much the same. So, here, I'm just going to turn that so you can show up a little bit too. There she is.
We're matching.
So, look. Oh, look at
so
that.
cute.
Oh, look at me. I'm like burgundy for the man, and she's like pinkish mauve for the girl. So, man, this stuff is great. I love it. And it's, do you happen to have, I got a lighter. Can I light one of these?
Light it. I guess I'll go get you a lighter.
I got one right here. And so with the sage, because I'm doing demos now, we might not make it to the moon phase stuff, but I just pull back the string a little bit. You don't have to worry about it. But this is all you do. You just light your sage like this. News story at 11. Man burns down house doing sage burning while on radio. Right. But so you get it going. And see, this is what it does. And you relight it as you have to, but this is the smoke, and you can cleanse the air with this, and I wish you could smell this. Oh, the smell is wonderful.
That stuff too.
Oh, Rainey's got all kinds of incenses and herbs.
Because we like to burn disc style, charcoal style.
Now this is the Palo Santo. Well, I don't have any place to set that down.
That's why I don't light it.
That's the Palo Santo. I showed you it looked like a stick. This is it chopped up into pieces.
Right.
So.
And then you would light one of these little discs, and then you could stick it on there. And sometimes, because sage is such a pain in the butt to get going, and I only like to use my sage for one thing and one thing only. So I'll break up the bundle and I'll start a charcoal and I'll stick the sage on here.
Yeah.
So that my giant bundle doesn't have
the little charcoal discs.
Just be used for one thing. And then you can add all the good stuff, man. This is frankincense.
Leslie got some of this on your Etsy page,
Yeah,
she said.
white copal. We got herba santa. That's good for cleansing.
So this is great.
Copal is good for meditation. I was going to say I saw Iowa X said he likes salt. We got the salt and the holy water.
There you go. There you go.
That one's oil. I don't know where the holy water is. Yeah, that's oil.
So this is, we don't do this enough in our own home.
Right.
So we need to sage
It smells so good.
and smudge the house a little bit more. These are what these charcoal discs look like. You can get these at your local metaphysical store. Just little charcoal discs. They're infused with chemical. And or on Rainey's Etsy page, she said.
Now Rainy Etsy ad.
Rainy Etsy ad?
This show is now.
Oh, Rainey said this is now, the show's become a Rainy Etsy ad. So these little discs, you can light these, and there's chemical in it, and it will burn like charcoal and ignite, and then it turns white and it's hot. And we just set incense in that and things like that. Or you can set the sage right on top of that as it's burning. So this is how that smudging works. IOX makes his own holy water. Hey, outstanding. What hole does it come out of? I'm a comic. So now with the moon, I did want to get to, we've only got like 4 minutes left of this show. So maybe we don't tackle the moon tonight and we don't do a new topic tomorrow night. We just get back into talking about the moon, because the moon, I'll tell you this one story very quickly. You know, I do tarot reading. I was told a long time ago, about 20 years ago, if you take your cards and lay them out, expose them to the moon at the moment where, or the time where it's passing over, waxing to its fullest, that it charges up your cards with that energy. And that's that same kind of energy you can put into your home. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. But I remember when I was in Egypt last, I had my tarot cards with me, and we were out we had the big boat, the Dahabea, and we were going down the Nile for 9 days. And with our boat, it was all our people, the archaeologists and the professors and some of the people who came along. And but I had my tarot cards with me, and we had a full moon. And so I charged my cards, my tarot cards, in the Egyptian moonlight at full moon while floating down the Nile. Tell me that doesn't give a picture in your head. That was pretty something. Pretty something? Yeah, there you go. Ah, boy, moonbeams now, says Matt Finn. You know how that stuff works, Matt. You know, werewolves come out at the full moon. Lycanthropy. You know that the moon and the tides, the energy that the moon has. It's the same kind of thing. Oh, there you go. Oh, that is?
Yeah, well, she's got that cough.
Oh, yeah. My daughter has a cough, so she's not liking the smoke. It's not that thick, even. It's just over here. Anyway. So, there you go. That's what we're talking about tonight. Moonbeams in a jar, says Steve Clark. Is that a kind of another kind of shine, Steve? Oh, yeah. And here's the Rainey picked this rock up when she was out rock collecting. And she picked this up, and you can put.
If you ask, you will receive. I always find the flat rocks because that's what I want.
That's what she does. And so we burn incense on these. You put the little brazier there and can burn your incense. So that's what we've got for tonight as far as taking care of your home. We're going to get more into the whole moon issue tomorrow night. Look some of that stuff up if you want before the show, or just wait till tomorrow night's show and we'll give you more of that information. There's something very strong about the moon, and using the waxing or the growing and the waning or the diminishing energies of the moon's changing phases to set, implement, evaluate, release, achieve, celebrate, and assess your intention-filled life. Coordinating your thoughts and your dreams and your plans with the moon's natural cycle can help you achieve all you hope for your family and for yourself. Why do you think a lot of the ancient monolithic structures have calendar types of setups to them, like Stonehenge and places like that? They helped track these things because the people used it. It's magnetism, says Matt Finn. Exactly. There's an energy there. All right, folks, guess what? We got to get out of here. So I'm going to say goodnight and say thank you for being here. Live long and prosper. See you tomorrow night.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent Talk.
All right, folks, we're back because we're not really ever gone. We got to cut off the stream to the radio station very quickly. I have to stop the audio recording for the archive over on the radio station. And then right now we can cut this off. Boom. We are now off the radio station. So I'm going to unplug my headset. There we go. And because I don't like wearing it. What do we got going here? There we are. I got that all jiggered out of place. All right. Welcome to the captain's cabin. So, I got to shut that whole program off. There we go. So thanks for being here, folks. And we didn't get much introduction in at the beginning, but Michelle Cannon-Free says, so much mystique and lore surrounding the moon, and there's for good reason. Exactly. And if these aren't things that you normally practice or that you're accustomed to practicing, you might know something about it, but it's never been anything you practice. Listen to tomorrow night's show. Keep listening to these shows, and you'll see how these things can be applied in a practical way. The whole thing is smudging. Before I really did a lot of research on this and study on this, I didn't realize that smudging had medicinal or psychological ramifications. And it does. It's more than just, we're going to burn some sage now. So, it's sage. It's like incense. My smartass child had to give a smartass quip if she walked through the room. So, but that's the way she needs saging.
Everybody's got allergy stuff going on, and it does make it hard to breathe when you have allergies.
Oh, okay. It's allergy-related stuff, I guess. It's supposed to help with allergies. That's the thing. So, well, my 10-year-old just pronounced that no, it doesn't. So there you go, folks. It doesn't really work. Oh, no, it don't. Steve Clark says sunflowers follow the sun, then face each other at night. That's kind of cool. No Captain's Clubhouse, says Grumpy Stack. We're here right now, Grumpy. Captain's Clubhouse. Captain's World, says Matthew Sainsbury. Captain's Cabin. Captain's Corner, says Paige. What? What was that, Rainey? Rainey just let out a string of expletives starting with the MFer. She stubbed her toe on something. So they turn each other for energy on cloudy days. I did not know that, Michelle Cannon-Free. Sunflowers. Matt Finn says he's grumpy. It's in the name. Ain't that the truth? Oh, how quickly he segued. Did you notice that from Doug to grumpy? I think we were all okay with that because we all recognized it in him. So, just trying to see who all is in here. By the way, today I bought some butter beer. You ever had any of that? You know what that's from? If I say butter beer, what's the connotation or what's that from? Do you know? We first had butterbeer down when we went down to Disney World last fall and Universal Studios. And butterbeer is, of course, what all the kids drank at the, what is it, the Three Broomsticks? Was that the name of the place? At Hogsmeade in Harry Potter. So, Fat Wisconsin. Let's see, Rainey, I need the 1111 bundle. I don't know what that is. I want to try ginger beer, said Steve Clark. Well, butterbeer, of course, is non-alcoholic, and it was the beverage of choice for the school kids in the Harry Potter books and the movies. And so butterbeer, they started making it years ago, and you can go when you go to the Harry Potter world. I don't remember what it's called, the magical world of Harry Potter or something like that, down at Universal. That, of course, is the drink of choice down there. And I think it's J.K. Rowling has an official contract with Universal that she had to approve the recipe and so on when they made it, but that can't be sold anywhere else other than down at Universal Studios. Yes, what were you going to say?
Down here with a plate and a fork.
It should all be over there. And so my friend Mark, I put up a post. He's my friend from my old Renaissance Festival days. He started the fireworks business up here, and now he's had his soda pop shop, Blue Sun Soda, which he's launched 5-6 years ago, something like that. And he's got 4 locations now. The 4th location being this location that is just a few miles away from us, over in Stillwater, Minnesota. And Leslie, if you're still there, probably closest to you is his Spring Lake Park location, which was his original location, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from here, toward your neck of the woods. And so they have butterbeer. And I was talking to him online. I said, we got to stop down and see the new shop. And the kids are going to love it. And I want to get some butterbeer. And he said, well, did you know? He says, he started ordering a butterbeer that I think was the official butterbeer called Flying Cauldron or something like that. And the official licensed or something like that. And he said he was down at Universal and had the butterbeer there. And then he ordered the stuff for his store to try it. And he said he didn't taste anything like what he had at Universal Studios. So he made some phone calls, I'm sure, and did some legal wrangling and went down with one of his guys. And they conferred with Universal and they got an approved recipe. And he manufactures his own now. And it's really, really good. I had some for the first time today, and it was very reminiscent. If not, I don't think I was even able to tell the difference of the butterbeer that you can get down at Universal, the Harry Potter world. And so it was excellent. So we went and we bought a case of that today. Well, not a case. We bought, I think, 8 bottles of it, and the kids got some other bottles of things. It's very sweet. It's very sugary. They do have the Cauldron brand of butterbeer that has a less sugary one, but it's not diet. It is gluten-free, though, which is kind of cool. So it was very good stuff. I had the bottle I thought I had sitting here, and I must have taken it out of here. I was going to show you the bottle. They call it Better Beer. My friend Mark, their own production, their own brand that they made, Better Beer Wizard's Ale. And they use the same typefaces for the Harry Potter movies. And so it's really, really good stuff. If you're local to the Twin Cities, you'll want to go over to Blue Sun Soda and pick up some of those if you like that. If you like the butterbeer or a Harry Potter fan, whatever, you may enjoy that. I've never been there, so I couldn't be disappointed if I tried, said Leslie Holker. Yeah, it's good stuff, well worth getting. It's a butterscotch cream soda. Is kind of what it is, for lack of a better description. Butterscotch cream soda. And you know what? I have a bottle, I think, sitting over here. Hold on. There it is. All right. I do have a bottle of it right here, down to be put into the fridge here. So this is the stuff. It's Better Beer Wizard's Ale, butterscotch cream soda. There it is, made with real sugar. I, of course, being diabetic, I can't just quaff these. I had to take a shot to actually drink one of these. A shot of insulin, not a shot of scotch or anything. So this is it's bottled by Blue Sun Soda Bottling Company in Spring Lake Park. Ingredients: carbonated water, sugar, natural and artificial flavors, citric acid, sodium benzoate, caramel color. It is gluten-free, I do believe. So there it is. That's the good stuff, man. If you like soda, and I don't drink a lot of soda. When I drink soda, I'll drink a Diet Coke or I'll drink a Diet Pepsi, sometimes a Diet Dew. I don't drink an awful lot of soda these days. But man, this would be the thing for me. So it's butterscotch cream soda. Yum, says Uncle Dave. And you're right, it is. It's yum. It's pretty cool stuff. And so I went over just to get this stuff today and brought the kids as a cover for my wanting to pick some of this up. So it's very good. You know, when we were down at Universal, they had the butterbeer. Then they had these butterbeer, like frosty type of butterbeers that were like malts, almost like icy malts. Man, were those good in the 100 degrees down there at Disney World. They had some other kind of thing that you could get with it too, but this was the good stuff. So we went over to Harry Potter World twice when we were there last September. Leon Tea and Lemonade here, says Barbie D. I'll bet you that's just as good. So I like tea and lemonade too. Depends on what time of day and what I feel like. This is good stuff. I wouldn't drink this all the time. Too sugary. But I have to watch that. I shouldn't really even have one a day of those. It's so sugary. So anyway, good stuff. Spreaker is the best, says Michelle Canham Free. Out of context, I just plucked that up. I just happened to see that. Weird synchronicity, Matthew. I said that to my friend Annie today. What did Matthew say? Bathroom break. Oh, weird synchronicity for both of you. I said bathroom break a couple of times today. Whew, man. So, Red Bull gives you wings. That used to be the ad for that beer. Matthew, Red Bull isn't even beer. It's just an energy drink. So I've had Red Bull. I think I got horribly inebriated. Dave Potter probably remembers this. The year was 2001. And I got horribly inebriated during a cast party night at the festival, drinking, what did he call them? It was Red Bull and gin or Red Bull and vodka. And I walked into the trailer of the guy who now plays the king. At the time, he was the royal prince out there. And there's 50 people crammed into a little, like a pickup truck's topper type of camper, and people spilling out all over. And you're like this in that trailer. And that, by the way, that's one of the first times I had a very close contact meeting with Rainey before I really knew her very well. And so that was a lot of fun. She was hot. She was beautiful. She was all those things. We got to talking. We're up against each other talking, holding our beers, by the way. These are our drinks. And so that's not where I met her the first time, but that's where I had I had met her superficially in other places, but that's where I'd say that's almost the first time I really got to know her, was standing in a crowded trailer drinking. And so, but the Red Bulls, he called them, Mad Bulls, he called them. And it was Red Bull with vodka or gin, and I don't even know what it was. But I remember walking in. It was cast party night after the last weekend of the festival, and a Saturday night. And I walk in, and John, over the crowd, he holds up a glass, and he yells, "Drink this, Scotty! Drink this!" And I said, "Well, what is it?" We're shouting because we can't hear each other over the din. And he said, "It's good." Well, okay. And so I took it. It was in one of those big, tall, red plastic disposable cups. And it was kind of pinkish and clear and pinkish. And I sipped it, and it was good. And so I downed it. It was really hot and humid outside. And so I downed it. And I remember having two. By all counts from other people, I had 6 to 8 of those. And that's the next morning. And Dave, you might remember this. That's when I woke up to the twittering birds in the pre-dawn, the bluish silver pre-dawn light on the horizon. And I'm laying in the wet, dewy, wet, grassy field, stark naked, with a blanket wrapped around my head like a turban. And the first thing I said, I sat up, I'm pulling the blanket off, and I go, "Where the fuck am I?" And I look around, and I see I'm way out in the field, and the campground's way over there. Dave, I was closer to the road and the dirt road and the railroad tracks, to give it context. And then I looked down, and the next thing I said was, "And where the fuck are my clothes?" So that was my experience with Red Bull, and I think it was vodka. Red Bull and vodka. It had to be Red Bull and vodka, Red Bull and gin. I don't know how they made Mad Bulls, but it was kind of half and half. So that was in the year 2001. And needless to say, it was about 6 months. I didn't drink anything after that. I think I was still drunk. That was Saturday night. I think I was still drunk on Monday. And I didn't have a hangover till Tuesday. And it was a saucy hangover. So there you go. And that's my experience with Red Bull. Now, if I drink a Red Bull now, is that 21 years ago? I drink a Red Bull now, and I don't like the taste. It still reminds me of that night of, well, actually the next day, of puking it all up. So anyway, there you go. It's party hard, Scotty, says Mad Finn. That's right, brother. That's why that was 21 years ago and not a week ago. I don't do that anymore. I just can't do that anymore. And I don't. It was interesting. I got up on site the next morning. It was the last day of festival, all up in costume. I'm in my red Beefeaters looking Royal Guard costume. And I'm up on site, and I got my sword on and all this stuff. And I'm still feeling all right. And that's the morning I woke up in the grassy field. Still don't know how I got out there naked. I must have wandered off naked. But I would go up on site, and we have this protocol for the audience that's there. The street theater, we're all supposed to be inhabitants of this fantasy village. And because I'm a nobleman, all the ladies they all have to curtsy to you and say, "Good morning, my lord." And the common folk would do that, the people playing the peasants. And so I'm walking and I'm strutting. I've got the big over-the-knee black leather boots, which, by the way, Dave Potter partially made for me. And I'm wearing this costume. I'm strutting out with the swagger, and two of the women from the high court. And Dave Potter, if you're still there, I haven't seen you talk, so I don't even know if you're there. You would know the people if I mentioned them. And as I'm walking by, they go, they don't say my lord. They go, "Good morning, Scotty," like that. And I was like, "Good morning, ladies." And I'm like, and I was starting to get this from all different quarters that next one. So I did ask them later. I said, "What exactly happened last night?" So apparently it had something to do with the nakedness and the being so drunk I didn't remember it, and the ladies of the court and other people. And so I must have put on a good show that night. Oh, hey, Dave. Yeah, you'll know who one of them is. So one of them, you remember, I won't say the name. She used to wear a black velvet dress with it had the collar of the dress would close and then it was open here, showing the cleavage. I think you know who I'm talking about. And somebody else from court. So this is back 21 years ago. Uh, so apparently I had proposed marriage to a couple of women that night, and I didn't remember any of that. And um, Dave Potter, it was Carr's wife, Marion, who I'd always, every day at festival, I'd come out and I'd give her a rose. In character, of course, from the street. She worked in one of the shops. And I would bow to her from the street and I'd say, "My lady, a rose for a rose for a rose," or something. I would always come up with something. Um, the blue of your eyes melts the azure of the sky, and I brought you a rose. And you give the rose, and I'd kiss her hand, and this was all in public at street theater. And so I apparently proposed to her that night. So, but she was married to one of my very dear friends, so she couldn't accept. Anyway, naked, and they still said no. Yeah, maybe that's why they said no. I don't know. But she was married, but they're still good friends of mine. I didn't lose any friendships over it, so far as I know. So Michelle Canterbury, a red rose, and so Dave remembers that was the life out there. We had good days out there. That was the times of our lives when we were young, and we had the ability to do those things, to play those parts. It was theater, but it was our life. That's what we did. And it was such a glorious time. Definitely a Scotty Roberts move. Drunken proposals and open field streaking. Hey, yeah. And I will amend something that I don't think it was streaking. I think it was stumbling or staggering by the time I got to the field. After all, waking up in the dewy grass in the fetal position, naked, with a blanket wrapped around my head, there was something up. I did manage to get back to my trailer, though. Nobody was awake yet. It was pre-dawn, just a little bit of light coming out. It wasn't dark out at all, but wrapped the blanket around myself and made it back to the, I think I threw up a couple times on the way, but I made it back to my trailer. And the woman I was dating was sleeping up in my bunk. My clothes were draped neatly over the chair. I'd worn a suit and tie the night before for a cast party. That's what we did with the Royal Guard that I was part of. It was our shtick to wear a suit and tie to the cast party. I was laying neatly over the chair and the tie folded neatly. So there it is. Let's see. True, says Matt Finn. Matthew Sainsbury says there's a cartoon called Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon's crime fighter uses a rose as a weapon and as a love token, the red rose tuxedo mask. There you go. I don't think I've ever seen that. So, Matthew Sainsbury, you got to bring up Lot's daughters, don't you? That was totally different thing. Matt Finn, good shtick, says Michelle Cannon-Free. Matthew Sainsbury, or Matt Finn says, well, it never happened. Scotty was out in the field. LOL, says Barbie D. I have Sailor Moon jeans, says Michelle Cannon Free. I don't even know what Sailor Moon is. Maybe I would if I saw it. Something I haven't committed to memory. Japanese anime. Okay. Let's see, I'm not into Japanese anime. But that could be the reason I don't recognize it. Don't forget, Friday night, Captain's Corner, live here, says David Potter. Yes, sir, live here. And talking about Sailor Moon. So yeah, I've probably seen it then. If it's Jap anime, has to do with sailors, probably Japanese anime girls in sailor costumes would be my guess. Am I far off? So there you go. I don't have much else to talk about tonight. I'll be honest, I don't have to share my health stuff with you all the time, but I talk about it. I had a really low blood sugar hit me about 10 minutes before the show tonight. And it seems I have so many things that happened just before the show. And I've been watching it very carefully since I was at the doc. And we were talking about some of the stuff. And she put me on more vitamin D, prescription level, and other things. And trying to combat this fatigue and stuff like that. And after they'd run a bunch of blood tests yesterday or the day before, can't remember. But so I've been watching it very closely, and my blood sugar was excellent all day. And then I started feeling, I was sitting down here. It was about 10 minutes before the show, 15 minutes maybe. I'm sitting here and I could feel it. I first feel it in my mid back, and I feel it in my chest. It's kind of like a trembling a little bit, and I start to sweat a little, and I'm like, oh, my blood sugar's low. And I'm like, why is my blood sugar low? Any of you have diabetes? You have to deal with this stuff? Last couple of weeks has been really high. It shot really high, and we didn't know why. And so I've been being very careful about measuring it and all of that, and it was low. I was at, I think, 57 when I went up and checked it 10 minutes before the show. And normal is between 70 on the low side and 110 on the high side. So, blah, blah, blah. Time to not be so hard on Jesus, brother. You know, if the sage and stuff doesn't seem to work for you. I'm not hard on Jesus. I'm really not. I'm hard on
Jesus.
No. All Rainey heard was hard on. And I had to comment from the I'm not hard on Jesus, Matt. I don't know. Maybe I'm perceived as that way. I'm hard on the things that I have a lot of questions about. And not because I disbelieve, but because I don't know what to believe anymore. Sometimes it's really, if you think too much about something, it's sometimes hard to reach the conclusions. And by the way, this is the Palo Solo. You do the same with this. You just light it up. This wood. This is sitting here, so I'm going to light some. I think the kid went to sleep. So you light it up, and you let it burn a little bit. Hopefully, I don't set off smoke alarms. There you go. It almost has a woodsy licorice smell to it. Licorice, very, very, very faint. I don't want to sour it for anybody if you don't like licorice. Interesting. Yeah, Michelle Cannon Free. I do. I monitor it. I have to watch it all the time. It's like I'm not a free man anymore. My life is, my carefree days of youth are gone. Yeah, there, it's burned out already. You have to keep burning this stuff or put it in the, I don't have any turmeric here. Unless Rainey's got some. But that's got such a sweet, great sweet smell. You light that up and you put it on the, you just put it on the wooden disc slab, and you let it burn. And it doesn't burn long. You can see it already burned out what I lit. You got to keep relighting it to make it work. So, or to use it for any length of time. I'm going to light it one more time because I really like that smell and what it's doing. And I don't know why it would affect people with allergies. Maybe it's just because they're already stuffed up in there. It's supposed to combat that. There you go. And then that, you cleanse with that. You cleanse the room with that and the house with that. This is one of the best ones for cleansing. So go out and pick some up. Check out Rainey's Etsy page. She's got the stuff. That wasn't meant to be an ad, by the way, today. She just I forgot. She happens to have all this stuff. Etsy.com/shop/Mama Hawthorne's Studio. And you should be able to find it. And you can see her stuff. I'm going to let that just burn out. I just tried some of the Palo Alto stuff. Well, she's got her door closed and everything, so she's sleeping with her door closed. So, anyway, and
It's strong upstairs.
is it? It's barely going down here.
Yeah.
It's out, just about. So there we go, folks. That's the show for tonight. That's the Captain's Corner, Captain's Cabin, Captain's Cabin. For tonight. Smoke is an allergen to some people. Maybe better in a liquid form for infusion. Might be. Okay. She's got a little chest cold. So, going on. Clark is allergic to aloe vera. Hey, Sean Stroik. Good to see you. Glad you're here. And we're just wrapping up. So thank you, Michelle. Thanks for being here. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Matt Finn.
Thank you for being my friend.
Rainey says, thank you for being my friend. And she's over there in a compromised position while she says that. Hi.
If they can see the reflection in the book cabinet, they can probably see me.
Oh, they can't. Not from here. Let's see. Can you see the reflection? Oh, see, there she. I can see you now.
Did you see my butt? Because I stuck it on.
No, you're cut off. Right. There's Rainey's butt. How about that? How about that? There you go, folks. Mama Rainey. We'll turn this way now. Let's wave. Wave high so they can see your hand. There you go. There she is. So, yes.
Did you get to see my butt?
See, what was that?
I said, did you get to see my butt?
I did.
You did.
No, they didn't see. You see where it cuts off over there?
I do, because you were showing in the window.
See? Right there.
See the bookshelf.
Spock. I've got a Spock
when
action figure
sitting on the toilet.
right there.
I can see my reflection in the bookshelf.
Oh, you can? See, I didn't know that. See, that's the bathroom way over there that's down here. So, if you see it, you see it. She stood up and mooned us all. But it was hidden. So, there. Exciting for tonight, huh? How about that? And that's all I got. Ratings are going up, said Matt Finn. Buttocks sells. So,
I'm going to bed.
Well, come here then.
My little's not feeling good and she needs her mommy snuggles.
Yeah. She's going to bed with the little one tonight.
Tonight, every night.
Tonight, every night.
Until we move away from the Tower of Death.
Yeah. If I want to sleep with my wife these days, because of the tower, I got to crawl in with her and the kid.
Kids. Because both girls sleep with me too.
It's not my thing. So we get it when we can.
Someday we'll have a place far away from the cell tower.
Yep. There it is.
Okay, I'm going to bed. Good night. Sweet dreams.
You're still welcome back up in our bed tonight. Anytime.
I'm good.
Come and visit.
I've had enough radiation for the day.
Come and visit.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I'm out.
There you go.
I'm out.
We're quiet. I'm just tired now.
Yeah, go to bed.
Scotty
slept almost the whole day.
I did.
Take some vitamin D before you go to bed.
I took it this afternoon.
Oh, good job.
See? Mm-hmm.
You want to take some magnesium? I'll help you poop and sleep.
Yeah. Your skin feels good.
It's because it's skin. I washed it.
Yeah.
I took my monthly shower today.
I'm glad you showered.
Yeah. When you decide to shower, there is a cotton candy machine.
I saw that.
Up there.
It's up in our bathroom.
I washed it out and set it in there.
All right. I saw that already.
I made cotton candy for the neighborhood.
She did. The kids were all over in our driveway playing in our yard.
And I sugared them up
and she sugared them all up and sent them home. So, anyway.
That's how it works.
All right, guys. There it is. There's life. Hey, Michelle Cannon Free says, Rainy and Heart.
What's up? Good night.
And good night, Rainy, says Sean Stroik.
Good night. Good night. Sleep well.
Good night. Sleep well, she said. Just like that.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Barbie D says, good night, Rainy.
Good night, Barbie D.
Matthew Sainsbury from Barbados says, bye, Rainy.
Bye. Isn't it way past his bedtime? What is it, like 3 o'clock?
Matthew Finn said, a beautiful view blocked by the man's action figures.
Nice. His man toys.
My man toys, yeah. That's a sad day.
Can't have a normal butt plug like everybody else.
That's just sick.
You're sick.
You're sick.
You're sick. You tell me.
I tell
talking
you.
To me. I want to go to bed.
I'm not talking to you. You're talking to me.
I'm back.
As long as you're here.
Away.
No, as long as you're here.
Trying to go to bed.
I'll talk to you some more.
No, stop talking. I want to go to bed. I'm going to bed. Good night.
You can go to bed.
I'm going to bed.
All right.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
I love you. Bye. Okay. That's enough public displays of affection from me.
Yeah.
So, I want some driveway cotton candy, says Michelle Cannon Free.
Oh, I tell her to come over. I'll make her drive.
You should come over. Rainy just goes out there on random days when all the kids are out here playing. Should start making cotton candy. So we've got a cotton candy machine now. We've got a popcorn popping machine.
Mom's put on 5 pounds.
I got scotch on the bar. Hey, kids, come on over and pour you up a neat one.
Scotch and candy.
Scotch and candy. Oh.
I left my wallet in the car. I gotta go.
All right. Be sure to lock it back up. All right, folks, that's the long goodbye that's going on right there. Minnesota goodbye, and we're in Wisconsin, so it's even worse. Minnesota. Wisconsin. She's just going tonight. I'm going to go get her while she's still hyper like a bunny rabbit. So I don't know if I want that many kids over. They just congregate here. They just all come over. We had 6, 7, 8 kids out in the driveway tonight playing basketball and messing around and stuff. And little kids, all under the 10 and under. So, but she makes the cotton candy. It attracts them. All right. So I'm really going to get out of here this time now. I got to go. Yeah, I got to go. All right, guys. You have a good night. I will see you tomorrow night. Rainey says, peace out over there and live long and prosper. So I will see you tomorrow night. Have a good night. Bye. Ciao. So long.